3, 2, 1.
We have liftoff. Back at it once again. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Yeah.
Every Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. It's a
know
blessing
where
to be here,
us
man. Every
Live
single
from
time.
Pretty Stonecrest.
Absolutely.
Stonecrest Mall. Come on now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Counting the blessings every single time. Sending a lot of high vibrational energy, a lot of enlightenment to everyone tuned in right now. We gotta stay aligned. We gotta stay aware. We gotta stay protected.
Yeah.
This thing we call life is ever so precious. So, as you moonwalk, make sure you're doing so responsibly. You dig?
What does it mean to responsibly moonwalk?
Hey, make sure the calculations are correct. When you taking off on a spaceship and you sending some of these representatives, some of these ambassadors, some of these astronauts to the moon, and you are yourself partaking, you need to make sure the calculations are correct.
Okay. Yeah.
To make sure you have enough oxygen to get there and get back. You have enough fuel to get there and get back.
That's right.
So if you're going to play at elite levels, make sure you do your research.
Straight like that. Straight like that.
So that's what I'm talking about. Because, you know, every time you follow your dreams, you're moonwalking. Every time you pursue your purpose, every time you are on a mission to achieve freedom for yourself and your loved ones, you're moonwalking.
Yeah.
That's the energy. That's the motto. That's the mission.
I love that because I asked because I think we were telling somebody about our show and they were like, "Do y'all moonwalk?"
No, I love. You know, let's talk about the podcast.
Yes, yeah, it was when we were. Yep. Shout out, brand new show on 101 TKO Radio every Wednesday.
I gotta hit my moonwalk.
He's about to moonwalk for y'all.
Moonwalk.
Everybody watching on YouTube. Oop, it's happening. It's happening. He's moonwalking behind me. Hey.
A little something.
Shout out to Daze. We really dancers out here, y'all. We really be dancing. I'm in a skirt, so I'm gonna keep it classy. I'm gonna keep it cute. But yeah. We be dancing. That was, I think, one of the things that really attracted us to each other was the fact that we were both creatives like that. Oh, you dance? Oh, you make music? And you do marketing? Who are you? That's what you know.
That's dope.
Yeah, shout out to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of many things.
Yeah.
Where the alignment was just obvious. Again, our first job out of college is like, yo, there's no way that this is a coincidence. I know, I'm blessed to know a great deal about who I'm related to from a biological DNA sense. So when we have this series of events that have us at the same first job, we have similar passions, similar interests, multi-hyphenate creatives.
Yeah.
And then our fathers are both from the Rock.
Yeah, I went to the same elementary school, middle school.
And did not cross paths. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
I still feel like they're lying. I still feel like they had to at some point. Y'all was never in the cafeteria together. Y'all never. It's just so trippy. It's so trippy. It's so trippy.
It's it could be that. Because trust and believe. This mission that I've been on, when it comes down to you and I, it is definitely inspired by the Most High. And when we look at all the opportunities that people have out here in life to be so close to another person, live together, work together, etc., there's no doubt that you got to be trained for it. You got to be built for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I'm just going to continue to acknowledge that divine alignment because, the fact of the matter, again, everybody want to, joke about it. Whoever else, I love when you count me out. If we are related, if your mama think we related, because there's some disconnects in the family tree, I done did the checks on my side. I don't think nobody knows you.
I think it's the same on my side too.
You think so?
Daze is referring to the fact that my paternal grandfather, He got a lot of kids. He got like 10 baby mamas. My grandma fought two of his baby mamas. So, I got a lot of cousins. I got a lot of aunts and uncles that are not accounted for, but I don't think that there's an overlap with Daze's side of the family. I think we're okay, but I do got a lot of family that I do not know about.
Absolutely.
My dad got a whole bunch of half siblings in this world that we do not know about.
I've worked too hard to work on myself and to study life and to study what it means to engage and build with a beautiful woman to end up with my cousin. So I'm just saying, bro, it's cool. I love you. I love you, bitch. You my cousin. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? What's up, cuzzo?
No, I'm not shaking your hand.
What's up, cuzzo? It's like, no, shout out to all the cuzzos for real, though. You know, shout out to our siblings.
Yes, shout out to our siblings.
You know, they look like us, but, you know, I mean, we light skin, we're freckles. We've gotten a lot of different insights from different people. Like, are y'all related? Are y'all not?
Yeah.
Are y'all in this situation, you know, for egotistical reasons? Are you so narcissistic? You just like
yourself that much.
You know, there's a community out there. We're gonna continue to find freckles with our melanated family. You know, it's a lot of folks out here. Shout out to Sean Pecos. He was just on a.
Who is that?
He was talking to DC on Fly. He's an industry executive. Pecos is freckles in Spanish.
Wow.
So he's Pecos. He might be a Dominican brother. Shout out to Nelly. Yes, Lord. So it's one of those things where, again, we are an entire village. So shout out to all those across the universe that also got the freckles. You know what I'm saying?
All of our freckle family, all of our freckle friends.
Absolutely. You know, I had a couple moments, honestly, growing up, I didn't really have too many moments where I really got made fun of or bullied for it. What's good? Shit works.
In the building.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I told you that one time.
A couple of small things.
There
was
like
little kids, like, what's that in your face?
Yeah. There was this one time when, actually my first time in DC, when I was in your hood, a young man had told me that I would be so much prettier if I didn't have freckles.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this boy's tripping.
It's funny how trends change, because they got all the filters and they got people that say you would be prettier with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll go, I heard this, I think I was just on the internet, and there was someone that said a face without freckles is like a night sky without stars.
Oh.
So.
That's cute.
Shout out to that.
Let's use that when we have freckle babies. I hope our babies have freckles. I don't know.
Yeah, they gonna get bullied if they don't got freckles.
Like, you're not my child.
God bless.
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's
God bless. Manifesting a lot of beautiful energy. Shout out to all the parents out there.
Yes.
All the preachers, protectors, providers.
Yes, Lord.
All those queens tapped in with nature, nourishment, nurturing.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's a big thing Daze and I have been talking about. Just like a theme of life, right? Universally, we all agree that men are supposed to be the protectors, the providers, and the preachers. We got the 3 P's for them. But when we look at women, what's like the direct mirror? You know, be like, oh, cook and clean. It's like, that feels like something we should dive a little deeper on, ladies. What are we agreeing to that should be our kind of, you know, stamp that matches that same energy of protector, provider, preacher? So Daze and I, nature, nourish, nurture.
There you go.
Nature, nourish, and nurture. So that's what we call in the equivalent. Maybe put it on a T-shirt, start a movement.
Preach, protect, provide, nature, nurture, nourish.
Yes.
Nature, nourish, nurture.
Exactly.
I like it all.
Yeah.
I like it all.
Yeah. More to come.
So much going on in our universe. It is very humbling to step up and utilize your voice. Because especially when you love life, you love people, and you are a thinker, you're an explorer, it's like, where do I start? So that's where it's always a beautiful thing to come back to self.
Yeah.
So everybody tuned in right now, if you haven't today, please take a moment, take a deep breath.
Clear your lungs.
Breathe in the health. Breathe out anything that is concerned with illness, mentally, physically, spiritually. So health is the greatest wealth. That's the energy we stay tapped in with,
Yeah.
because it's real out here. It's not easy, especially when we understand the forces against us, and it is different depending on where you are on the planet. So a lot of love and healing energy, I cannot even begin to fathom what it would be like to be living in Gaza right now, in that region of the world, Israel, Palestine, and all of the different perspectives and narratives and footage that we've seen, just to know that these are fellow human beings, and that when we study the world as children and we learn about wars in the history books, we learn about slavery, or well, some children do. I know that's
That's a whole thing.
you know what I'm saying, that's an entire conversation in and of itself, what the youth is being exposed to and how we're just coming to understand this world we live in.
Yeah.
So that's where, again, we want to tap in with ourselves, be grateful for exactly where we are now, sending healing energy to anyone on the planet experiencing warfare. There's certainly been a ongoing conflict, and just this has been disgusting circumstances, indeed, that require attention and healing in the motherland, Democratic Republic of the Congo. You know what I'm saying? Just the list goes on. It is something that we just need to continue to be aware of. So one love to the world, one love all the way across the board. Man, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So we got a lot more for y'all when we come back from the break. One time, big up to Bob's Cartel, who is now a free man. It gets into it's a lot of things with culture. Again, just these individuals that affect their community, but also have controversy around them. So we always want to celebrate somebody achieving a new level of freedom and liberation, of learning, of evolving. So that's the goal here, folks.
That's right.
To keep on keeping on. Exactly. So one love to the world. We here. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Yeah.
We back. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. It's the middle of August. All those goals you've been setting, have you been following through? What is your intention of this month, of this day? How are you building up towards the vision you see for yourself? Are you developing visions for yourself? All great things to ask.
I love it. Exactly.
I love it too. I'm glad that you love it. We're making the jump again. We had to take the vibes to the islands a little bit, to the motherland a little bit, to just understand what this vibration is all about. When we talk about the amazing aspects of our melanin, and one of the major reasons we make it a priority to invest in ourselves, to invest in our community. I mean, we're the heartbeat. We are infinite beyond measure and powerful beyond measure. And especially when we unify, there's no telling what can happen. So much love to all those competing. Lots of beautiful people all across the board that came together to celebrate sport and competition in Paris, France. Had the tremendous blessing to visit Paris earlier this year for the first time. Shout out to my mama who was able to be out there during the Olympics. And much love to my father and bonus mom who also were able to take a trip out there to celebrate their 10-year last week. So shout out to you. Much love to the world. And again, the vibrations of music and where it takes us and how it connects us. Music and sport are the two universal languages. So do not feel away by prioritizing that, my young brothers and sisters. But remember, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a scientist, to be an astronaut, an educator, the list goes on. And there is no limitation.
I love it. Exactly. You know, music and sport is the universal language because it's something that we can always connect back to. You can feel it when someone did well in a sporting event, or you can feel it when a song just naturally makes you move or makes you want to jump or makes you sad, right? So we always believe that we're making sure we're championing the creative in all of us, the athlete in all of us, because it not only keeps us healthy on a physical level, but it keeps us mentally healthy as well. They actually say that those that, you know, prioritize the language of music actually help you in the long run, you know, fight against Alzheimer's and any kind of memory loss, because music helps with our memory, helps with our brain function and keeping it at a high vibrational level. Same thing with babies, right? If we're playing those classical tunes to our children at a young age, they tend to be better off mentally as well. And then all that in between, we already know having music as a tool to help work through our emotions makes a huge difference. And moving our bodies is something that we're meant to do, right? No matter how small or how large that movement is, getting movement every day makes a huge difference. You know, you don't use it, you lose it.
Every single time. So what are you using and not losing?
My spirit, my soul, mind, body, soul. Yoga is a big part of my lifestyle. I think it's important to remember that yoga is not just a physical practice. It is a philosophy of life. It's a way of life. That is the biggest part of it. For those that don't know, I am a yoga instructor as well. And early on in the training process, it's clear that it's not just meant to be something that you come back to every now and again. It's meant to be a perpetual practice, a perpetual state of mind that keeps you high vibrational and it keeps your body flexible. So, yeah, I'm avoiding losing anything that, you know, I'm not meant to lose, you know. Keeping my body, my mind, my spirit flexible.
I respect that. I mean, it's very important to keep your soul intact, your mind, your body, your dignity. And to navigate this life in a way where you're respecting yourself is of the utmost importance in every single way.
That's right.
especially when you invest in yourself and you understand your value, you're not gonna just tolerate anything from anyone. And that's why it's so important to day in and day out appreciate the opportunities to learn from others for sure. In that same regard, make sure you're respecting the time and energy to pour into something that you can have a level of jurisdiction in, that you can orchestrate, and that you're not always in someone else's symphony, that you can conduct and create your own. So bringing it back to Planet Love, and where I'm at with it, this journey of self-love means loving myself even when nobody else will. Understanding that when others feel uncomfortable, when others' energies aren't aligned with me for one reason or another, I still got to stay true to me. I have to persevere. When there are moments where there might be a level of confusion on why you do what you do, when you follow your spirit, when you follow your dreams, they say a lot of amazingly successful people almost have to be delusional. And when we think about people competing at a world stage, on a world stage, that can be a little bit delusional, and say, why would you focus on that? So how are you applying an Olympic mindset to what you do? When I study this amazing planet, individuals like Stephen Curry, now I'm saying, shout out to the chef, having that dope, iconic clothes, to the men's basketball. Again, shout out to women's basketball as well, bringing home the gold. The list goes on. Obviously, Sha'Carri Richardson been repping for South Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Noah Lyles representing. I know there's been a little bit of funny stuff going on. It's like, come on, bro. After you got that bronze, you got that gold in that 100 meters, my guy. But again, it's a marathon. I mean, he was literally running sprints, but on the 200 meters, which he was the favorite for, he got the bronze, and it's all good. Shout out to the brother that won, and how he was honoring his mother that got the gold medal. I will bring up his name just to ensure that I pronounce it correctly. But it's just phenomenal to see this landscape and just the way that media has evolved as well. I'm not sure how many of the folks out there were watching it live. We had a couple moments where we watched it live, so I'll pass it off to Michaela while I look up the brother's name that won the 200 meter, because the media coverage definitely spoke a lot about Noah Lyles since he was the favorite for it. But Michaela has a family member that was actually in the Olympics. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was a really cool moment. Being able to watch it live, I thought it was really smart how Peacock had structured the platform in a way where it was easy to know which event, so you knew exactly what you were looking for. My god brother, Russell Robinson, big shout out to him. He competed on the international scale of the Olympics. Yes, of the Olympics. And so our whole family is really, really proud of him. He made it past the qualifiers here in America so that he qualified for the Olympics, and he competed in the triple jump with two other great Americans. I think only one American ended up making it to the second round of the Olympics, but it's still an amazing, amazing accomplishment to be able to see and say that my god brother was on international TV on some of the biggest stage you could think of, right, at the Olympics, and he definitely made our family proud. So big shout out to you, Russell. Love you, the whole Robinson family, my whole God family. Very, very grateful. Super dope moment. Super dope. He's been competing in triple jump and track and field for a long time, so this is definitely seeds of his hard work that he's been putting in over the years.
Shout out.
Very, very happy.
Five.
Yeah, it was dope.
Nah, stay true. Stay true to that craft, to that passion. Put in those hours. It can translate to you being celebrated on a global stage. Yeah. And what's more important than any attention is that personal understanding and fulfillment from knowing that you're standing next to other dedicated athletes, dedicated just go-getters that have put in the hours day in and day out, blood, sweat, and tears to be there in that moment. So the power of now is incredible. Shout out to the book by Eckhart Tolle. Definitely got some gems in there to share with y'all today. But before we transition out of this Olympic energy, wanted to shout out the brother from the motherland, Botswana, Letsil Tobogo. So definitely,
he got the gold.
He got the gold in the 200.
Awesome.
So again, the list goes on. Again, there are so many different amazing talents and Olympic moments. Definitely shout out to all the melanated queens. Definitely repping all the way across the board. Again, it's
shout out to Tamika in the TikTok.
I love it. What's up, Tamika? Yes, indeed.
Part of the Rock family.
Already. Now, Tamika, stay supporting the building. We appreciate you.
For real.
Indeedy. But yes, if you are listening live and you want to call in, know that we would love to hear your voice and your perspective. 678-439-7419. 678-439-7419. And if there were any, highlight moments for you, again, when Sha'Carri was running that last leg.
Bro, that was so dope. She had enough time to look to her right.
4x100.
Just to make sure she was going to win.
Oh, no, that look gave me so much energy.
Seriously, that look on her face.
That's what it's about. That's the energy I come with. And I come with it with everything that I do. Because I'm not going to lie. It's not easy being me. It's not. And I'm sure it's not easy being you either. But when you know you got that competitive fire and you want to put in the work. You've been putting in the work. And you just waiting for that moment. I know Sha'Carri being counted out. Having to sit down. Having everybody run their mouth. You don't even know what's going on. Nah. I'm going to keep that composure. I'm going to keep that composure. I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out every single time.
That's right.
So, again, stay strong, my friend. Stay strong.
Before we transition, we got to make sure we shout out Simone Biles.
Of course.
She made
the queen.
incredible history. And I want to also point out that she grew up in Spring, Texas, the same place I grew up. I got to make sure I shout that out. Spring, Texas.
Something in the water.
Something in the water out there. But yeah, Simone Biles, wow, to be able to say that she's she's the most decorated American Olympian, or she might be top of the world to some extent. She got some crazy stats on her after this whole incredible just Paris Olympics. So gotta make sure we shout her out too. But yeah, y'all.
For sure. The list goes on. Again, shout out to everyone competing all the way across the board. We are born and raised in America, but clearly the African diaspora is incredible. Just the human family is incredible. We love you no matter who you are or where you are. To the Latino Latinx family, to the Asian family, to the Middle Eastern family. Again, Australia had some funny moments, I know, with breakdancing. Shout out to hip hop one time.
Baby, you could compete. Breakdancing?
Breakdancing?
Yeah.
I do some pop locking. I definitely have been in that community here and there, but I definitely respect, again, with the opportunities in this. I can compete. You know what I'm saying? With LeBron, Steph, and them. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter.
Of course.
It don't matter. We can do any sport, baby. Y'all said I go ahead. You know what I'm saying? What else? What other form was it? They had ping pong. We get it in the ping pong.
I want to be like the girl that was the shooter. She had that look about her. She had a little lean in it. I think she was from Japan. She went viral. I don't know her name, but if y'all know, y'all know. She was
I know the guy that went viral.
And she had a certain energy about her. Yeah, so there was someone else that competed from Japan, and she brought that energy. She gave big main character. I would watch several action movies with her as the lead actress and not question anything. Take my money. She did a great job.
Salute, man. Salute.
And she'll be performing her own stunts.
Nah, that's what's up. Again, love to anyone that we didn't necessarily mention directly. Just to recap a little bit before we go to this next music break. The U.S. and China tied for the most gold medals at 40. The U.S. had just the most medals overall at 126, and then China was in second with 91. U.S. also had 44 silver and 42 bronze medals. So shout out to Japan, Australia, and France, who are also in the top 5. Again, all the way across the board. Again, it's very cool to see the world come together. In that same regard, kicking off the Olympics, there was some controversy.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that, after this segment. But ultimately, we know media influences the mental, and we must continue to be aware and responsible, ladies and gentlemen, on how we nourish ourselves with content and what we're listening to, what we're watching, and understand how it affects our day to day.
That's right.
So, again, one love to the world, Planet Love, Olympics 2024 in the books. Petty. You know what I said?
Oui, my baby.
Yes, Lord. Moonwalking.
Yep. With Dawn Daze
Yeah,
on 101 TKO Radio. Let's get this music going. Yeah. What's up? What's up? You are back moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Yo.
Before the break, we were talking a little bit about, the Olympics and all the things that have been going on this year. Shout out to 2024 and just the amazing year that it was for not only the U.S. We were talking about how we had definitely dominated. We tied with China for the most gold medals, but overall we had 126 medals won across gold, silver, and bronze. So big shout out to the U.S. for that. I know it's that ongoing joke, right? Like every 4 years, this is the only time I'm excited to be an American. Every outside of that, if you got an American flag, I'm looking at you a little sus. But during the Olympics, we cool. Do it all the way. Go full out.
I hear you overall. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I understand the energy.
Yeah, the energy.
I understand the energy for sure. In that same regard, I hear a lot of people say this, and even from some of my experiences, the moment you travel outside of this country, you realize how lucky you are to be from this country.
Yeah.
And this country is our country. Our blood, it has been invested in this soil.
Seriously.
And especially when we think about just our Native American heritage and roots, which I certainly love and embrace, and I want to continue to learn and explore. This is our country as well.
Yeah.
So this is where marketing and understanding and branding and being able to walk on business as we love our planet, it's incredibly important.
Yeah.
Not allowing politics, not allowing narratives to manipulate our mind and prevent us from claiming what's rightfully ours. We deserve to be business owners. We deserve to be candidates for the presidency. So, that's one of those things. It's like, that's the only moment you ain't a little bit proud with Barack. You know what I'm saying? You ain't a little bit proud with Kamala. But
Yep, you're right.
the layers. Clearly we can have critique, but the entitlement, folks. The entitlement. Check it. Check the entitlement, please. Because it's cute and everything, but I'm not really here for that. Shout out one time for the one time ASAP Rocky. He's definitely been in his fashion bag, bringing the American flag back full circle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys, and he's had some moments where he's got caught up with the law overseas. Mm-hmm. So it's a beautiful thing to, again, recognize we definitely need to do better. Ain't no doubt. It's hard to love that flag, but let's not act like we can't have our own symbolism and quote unquote weaponize it for good. Because I know there's the MAGA movement that can trigger a lot of people, but we're at that point where politics, ladies and gentlemen, it is much more than just the big presidency, the big show. Get involved locally. Understand who's around you locally. We have so much power that we need to tap into. If you're not willing to do a level of research, please be mindful of how you speak on things. And that's that on that. Fact of the matter is, again, the powers that be. Shout out to the Noops one time. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick, a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Big L's in the building, you know what I'm saying? I got that crimson on today. He is looking to play flag football in the 2028 Olympics. And going back to this conversation of the American flag, he spoke to a member of, our service, of our military services that fought for this country. So again, as a man, understanding that I put myself in a position, no disrespect to you as a woman or other women, but when you have soldiers alongside you, when you are a soldier yourself and you fight and you sacrifice for this country, again, one of my big cousins, that's one of my closest family members, big cousin Terrence, he's a Marine. And through him, I got to see a lot of being involved with this service. My grandfather fought in Vietnam, and rest his soul. There was a lot of biological warfare going on over there too. Some of what they thought affected him. He passed away in his sleep, pretty unexpectedly, and they think that part of it had to do with Agent Orange, which was biological warfare that they would put in Vietnam over the vegetation to clear things out. So we have to be aware all the way across the board of how grateful, how blessed we are to live in this country again. There's so many different things. So the Olympics is cute and everything. I get the joke, but you know what I'm saying. I gotta talk my talk a little bit, because especially when you consider what's going on internationally, to be able to wake up and hear the birds chirping and not hear bombs and gunshots again. There's definitely communities. There's definitely some third world situations here in the States. Do not get it twisted. In that same regard, it's a lot of royalty. You know what I'm saying? Going on here too. So big salutes. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. It's going to be exciting to see him compete again in football. Hopefully we get to see him again represent in Los Angeles in 2028. And, you know, go back against, again, they had an issue with that protest because during the national anthem he took a knee. But he got that advice to take a knee from somebody that served this country and fought for this country, from our troops. So love to the planet. Love to America. May we continue to do all that we can. Again, just definitely learn a global perspective. But America likes to see itself as leader of the free world. And I know that's why for a lot of people this election is very important. So continue to stay tapped in. I know it's hard. It's easy to be pained and neglected. I've had moments myself where it's like, okay, should I be involved in this process? So on and so forth. But seeing my grandfather, you know what I'm saying, Papa Wally, you know, before he passed away, you know, right around my 16th birthday, again, before my 16th birthday, I was seeing Barack get into office around when I was 14, and he was, again, just seeing that moment. He also fought for this country. So, you know, did boxing, jumped out of planes, all that good stuff, man. Like a real one. Shout out to Nana Pat. And, you know, we're actually probably going to have Nana Pat, his wife, my grandmother, my bonus grandmother. But just the fact of the matter is, she's been holding it down. She's in Buckhead now. She was in Decatur. And she just wrote a whole book about her life. She's 81 and thriving. And just such a beautiful example of what it means to tell our stories, to be vessels of knowledge, and just understand where we come from, and why it's important to stay awake, stay aware, and exercise our rights all the way across the board.
That's right. Yes. So where I was going with the joke about America and how it can be difficult sometimes to want to represent the flag is remembering the history that we have here. And it's so interesting, you know, when you think about the Olympics and on even just a global scale, the African diaspora, without a doubt, dominates the Olympics. If it wasn't for Black Americans, I don't want to be audacious, but I think we wouldn't even have half of those. This is our country.
Yeah. This is our country.
Yeah, I don't even think we'd have had half of those Olympic medals. So I just want to give that big shout out to all of my melanated people, literally across the globe. Because if you take away just Black people from every country, I think, you know, again, not trying to be audacious, not trying to be disrespectful, I think the reality is the Olympics would look a lot different. I'm just going to say that. The Olympics would look a lot different, especially track and field, especially basketball. You know, even when we were watching France versus the U.S., both men and women's, you know, it's sometimes you're like, oh wait, they're not American, they're French, they're black French people, right? They are not of the same, you know, they were not born on the same soil as we were, and that being so interesting in how we just kind of look again at this African diaspora across the globe, how we were all taken from the motherland and spread out and used in different ways, and even thinking about how Americans, Black Americans in particular, dominate the Olympics. It's like, damn. You kind of get, I get a little like, dang, like that's a little messed up when you think about it, how we got to this point. It's a beautiful thing because it's a story of triumph. It's a story of finally being accepted. But when we go back genetically, it's like, dang, we've been kind of groomed in certain ways to be, you know, so gifted in the athletics and so gifted in the creative arts. So when you see the Olympics and you see, like, again, Black Americans just dominating the way that we do, even Jamaica, similar type of story, right? All the people that were brought over here. A lot. I know there's also the story of you know, plenty of us that were already here, already on this side of the world, but you can't deny that there were people that were brought over here too, and it affects us today.
To this day, it's incredible. It's incredible to see the evolution. It's sometimes unfathomable to think about how much has occurred and what pains are still existing in this world, the fact that certain progress hasn't been made, and that's where our mindset is incredibly important. And we all, I believe, learned this, especially over these past several years, that being present is incredibly important, and understanding your media intake and the narratives that you prescribe to, it's incredibly important to just understand the source and understand the relevance to your well-being. And that's where starting where we are, starting in our community, starting in our villages, again, just with my, experiences traveling in Europe briefly, it was certainly an enjoyable experience. In that same regard, again, there's no place like home. When you walk around and you feel that vibration, and I'm open to calling many places on this planet home. It's just one of those consistent things. This country, though we have a lot of things to work on, and we're in some precarious times right now, this is not the first rodeo.
And definitely beautifully privileged.
Absolutely.
So what would you say was the biggest difference between here and across the pond, based on what you saw?
Overall, there's definitely a different approach to day-to-day life. A lot of similarities, but just some of the small things. For example, there are certain venues, especially in Paris in the UK, which is where I went, where there's a connection to tradition, and having to present yourself in a certain way, wear certain things. Again, there's definitely a level of versatility in all cities where you're going to get still more of a gritty energy. And what I'm saying, the culture is alive everywhere. Don't get it twisted. Hip hop is international. The better parts of it and the not so good parts of it, of the culture, if you will, again, because real hip hop is the positive, but we just gotta embrace what's evolved to. So ultimately, I think, again, just the energy walking around, you definitely can feel the history. Again, the architecture is definitely another major part. The weather, specifically again in London, we got lucky with a really sunny day, but just, certain parts of the world, obviously, even in the country, they say it never rains in Southern California, and it always rains in London. But regardless, you're gonna have a little bit of both wherever you go, wherever you travel. But yeah, I would definitely just say, just the overall energy that people walked around with on the streets. Definitely cleaner in certain capacities. Yeah, it's just
like
a different mindset.
A sense of pride almost in a different type of way than we have over here.
You could call it that. I think I would more so speak to it as just a more solid connection to tradition.
Yeah.
So we can unpack that more, but that's my answer off the top of my head.
Okay. Helpful.
You're welcome.
Yeah, when I think about going abroad, those are the kind of things that I ask myself too, like, the food, the culture, the fashion, the architecture, those are all the things that are definitely, like, whenever that time comes, being able to really dive in and be able to experience it. Because I thought it was interesting that you said that, even with all of the tradition and the high fashion energy to a certain extent, you still prefer home. So that's beautiful.
Certainly. And just being able to navigate, just knowing where things are. When you speak to people again, they speak English in the UK, but not everyone in France is going to speak English from the jump. So
what's up, Ashley? She just joined in on IG Live. Hey, Queen.
One love. That's perfect time to actually transition a little bit. I was gonna shout out, speaking of just this space of melanin entrepreneurship, again, how the culture translates from here to abroad. Brent Faiyaz is one of those artists where he has, without a doubt, what's good? Brent has, without a doubt, created a great sound, a great movement. Again, when we talk about celebrating our independent artists and also celebrating the DMV, again, Brent being from Baltimore. And if you know, you know, sometimes, you know, Baltimore is considered a world of its own, whether they exclude themselves or folks from, you know, close to the DC side exclude them. But fact of the matter is, Brent Faiyaz has an artist by the name of Tommy Richmond. I'm sure everybody's heard $1 Million Baby at this point. But just that energy, that sound, that international appeal, Brent definitely leans into that heavily. You know, definitely one of those fashion guys. I know he's probably been at Paris Fashion Week a couple of different times, and us just talking about fashion, talking about Paris, talking about Europe, high fashion, luxury. Again, you know,
makes sense that Cashly.
Yeah, Cashly popped in, absolutely.
Designer.
And an artist herself as well. And I was about to mention Brent just invested in he invested over $100,000 in Black women-led STEM companies, so science and technology companies, and he did it with his partner Ty Basin. So salute to them. Just investing in our queens is very important to understand how we walk on business, how we raise funding. So all those out there, make sure you're working on your business plans. Make sure you're doing your research so you can speak to investors, and whenever they are willing to potentially throw some money away, you can let them know that they can trust you because you've done a level of research, you understand what you're getting yourself into.
And if you need that extra support with developing your business plan or your marketing plan, or just want someone on your team that can make sure you look buttoned up, definitely hit up Dawn Daze. Definitely hit up the Apollo Project LLC. We can get you right and prepare you for takeoff. Already.
And, you know, here on Moonwalking with Dawn and Daze on 101 TKO Radio, we definitely want to drop a lot of that game. We got some special things in the works where hopefully we can, you know, drop some, you know, free materials, maybe some, you know, paid materials soon too. You know, we gotta respect the coinage. But fact of the matter is, we want to get the information and the knowledge out there. You know, knowledge should be free for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big takeoff energy. Appreciate you, Cashly. Again, Cashly Banks. We big business on this side. So going back to, again, shout out to my mama for really orchestrating that trip, that mom and son trip. It was a beautiful full circle moment for us to be in Europe. I got to see her purchase Christian Louboutins, so just even that whole experience of high fashion luxury, where it pretty much originates in Europe. There's different energy. When people walk outside, it's a statement.
Yeah.
You can't just be dressed like anything, especially if you go into certain establishments. Like when we went to the Ritz-Carlton to have cigars, you know, you cannot get in if you don't have a blazer, slacks, and dress shoes. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just all the way across the board, understanding that. And even when they price things in a way where you don't necessarily tip. It's already included in the service.
So tipping is not a thing.
You know, you don't really, tipping isn't really encouraged. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But you got to pray the difference, because that euro is definitely heavier than the dollar. So
yeah, that happened relatively recent.
Yeah. I think we had cocktails one night. We just went to one spot while we were in Paris, and all we did was to get a couple cocktails, and just that's easily, you know, $40. But
a couple cocktails.
Yeah, but
that includes the gratuity and everything, pretty much. Yeah.
You know, I don't know exactly how it works on the other side, if they bake the gratuity into it, or if they just have a nice salary to begin with. Again, there's more to learn, but shout out all across the world. Again, the Olympics, Paris, clearly a movie. Los Angeles is up next. So all those businesses out there, all those small business owners, when you have an opportunity, and I know Atlanta hosted the Olympics, so if you can, you know, get in there and have a staple and, you know, build a reputation for yourself, then start planning ahead now. You know, if you can somehow get some real estate out in LA, get you a pop-up shop, it's gonna be the whole world traveling out there in 4 years. So
prepare now, Lord.
Exactly.
I just real quick, I also saw that they were talking about making it a completely, you know, carless experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had said they had done it the last time the Olympics were in LA, so they're trying to repeat that, but just using all public transportation. So we're gonna see how LA makes that happen.
We gonna see.
Yeah.
We gonna see. And that's where it comes back to, again, walking on business. How business connects to politics.
Yeah.
You know, I know there is a black queen that is the mayor of LA. And let me look up her name real quick. But the fact of the matter is, we are in...
I'm sorry. Days when you searched it.
Yes, Karen Bass, my bad. Mayor Bass.
Karen Bass, okay.
Yes. She's the 43rd mayor of Los Angeles and the first woman and second African American to be elected as the city's chief executive.
She's the first woman to be mayor of LA.
Very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
Very intriguing.
Shout out to her, queen.
Big salute, big salute.
Again, Me either, I would love to go to LA for the Olympics. No, yeah, that'd be cool.
No, absolutely. Again, start planning now, folks. But again, just understanding that leadership in all these different capacities. Again, the vision that she has for the Olympics, the vision that, you know, federal, you know what I'm saying, powers might have.
Sure, the U.S. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So just understanding the balance between, you know, national and local is super important, y'all. Again, as artists, knowing that you can potentially, you know, get certain tax breaks or you can get certain benefits and get access to certain resources. You know, I just know, especially in the nonprofit space, there's a lot of funding out there. So if there's any way that you can incorporate your music endeavors into supporting the community and building up the city, you can partner with the city. Again, the festival that we've been blessed to work on and support with the family up in Rochester over the, you know, past several years, that's certainly been an initiative that is inspired by music itself. It was started in 1995 to really be a healing component for the city and to give people something to do and celebrate at the end of summer, and also to distract from some of the crime and violence that will potentially occur. But overall, again, it's an opportunity to build and economically invest and, you know, raise capital. So
that's right.
Much love, man, all across the board, man. We here consistently moonwalking on business and everything that we do. We got a little bit more for y'all before we close out this last 30 of the show. Of, you know, just this edition again. Y'all know the vibes.
Y'all know how we do. So keep it locked here on 101 TKO Radio. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. Let's keep that music. What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back. You are Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Yes, Lordy.
Earlier, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Olympics. We were talking about our adventure of the week, the Planet of Love, standing on business, walking on business. Shout out to all the Black woman-led companies out there, including this fabulous radio station where you get to hear our voice through the airwaves. And now we touching a little bit on, another topic, M3 Squared, music, movie, and media. So we got some things we want to share with y'all, talk through. Definitely, if you want to call in and be part of the conversation, you can call us at 678-439-7419. And of course, if you're on our TikTok or our Instagram, definitely let us know if you want to be part of the conversation too. And of course, make sure you've got the 101 TKO Radio app, or go to 101tkoradio.com to really be able to experience all of this the right way, the best way.
Do that.
So I was going to pass it on to you, Daze. Go ahead.
For sure. So, music, movies, media. For a moment, let's understand the definition of music. Let's just take it back to the basics really quickly. Music is a noun. First definition: vocal or instrumental sounds, or both, combined in such a way as to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion. Number two
I love that.
is the written or printed signs representing vocal or instrumental sounds.
Can you read the first definition again?
I will.
It spoke to me.
Music is vocal or instrumental sounds, or both, combined in such a way as to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion.
Produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion.
Just like music. For sure. Mercy. Hey, man. I must say, music for me has been a vessel of time travel on a personal level. It's been a lens. It's been so many different things. And I want to highlight two words in the definition I just read: beauty and emotion. We'll shout out expression as well. Ultimately, as I've seen, as I've studied, and as we all see on a global platform, hip-hop is the number one genre. And I believe the primary reason it is the number one genre is because of the essence that it captures in connection to America, the city of New York, Bronx, New York. That oxymoron, that contradicting element of birthing something out of nothing, of this global platform. Exactly, the rose out of the concrete, this global platform being built by somebody just described it as this, but really, some bad little 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds running around. Again, obviously a lot of contributors, but again, just some of these movements just being birthed by the youth.
Yeah.
And I know we always want to protect our youth, but do not get it twisted. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And a lot of these youngers, they know what's up. You can't necessarily fool them.
Yeah, they act like they don't, but they know.
When it comes down to especially youngins that grow up too fast, they have a special view on this world, and their creativity is also incredibly special. So, big salute to music itself and understanding that this is a vehicle, this is a vessel, and to see moments in my life, and it's something that is being mirrored on a global platform right now with the quote-unquote Greats Award. Thank goodness there have not been any lives lost because I will take responsibility right now. Again, when they say everything is fair in love and war, I've taken that to heart in different chapters. You know, we talked a little bit about a number of our experiences on this show, but just knowing that music has been one of those healing components, especially when I think about the family structure and some of the breakages that my family structure has experienced over the years. And even when it comes down to my pursuits and my initiative of saying, you know what, this is something that matters to me as far as building a holistic relationship with Michaela, meeting her and feeling like it was so obvious, but at the same time, for many different reasons, there being so many blockages and the human nature of being oblivious. So knowing that when I see these things going on the global platform, when I understand that I am a, you know, young black boy that was raised and taught certain things, there are certain programming that I experienced for better or for worse, and that just directly translates to how I carry myself.
Yeah.
And fortunately and unfortunately, music has brought folks like Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Aubrey Drake Graham. Shout out to that Mirror as well. Technically, both of these brothers use, you know, parts of their real name as their stage name. So seeing that it brought them together and unified them at one point when they're earlier in their career, but when time elapses and we see a lot of other variables get involved and really it comes down to a lack of communication and alignment for one reason or another, it creates this entire just dangerous ecosystem where there's a state of war. And again, when there is real world war going on in the world, acknowledging the spiritual warfare is certainly important, but just respecting the levels to it is also super important. So everybody out there that's creating right now, understand the power that you have with your music. It is a very amazing opportunity that we have, the access to technology that a lot of folks in the States have. Again, that's another experience that I had out there talking to one of the brothers that was helping with our luggage at one of the hotels in Paris. He was interested in music as well, so we sparked up a conversation. He kind of is a big fan of Stevie Wonder. He was talking to me about him, but studio time is a lot more expensive. You know, you can maybe get 2 to 3 hours for, you know, $90, $120 here in the States. Over there, it's probably going to be 2, 3, 4 times that. So
interesting. There's that barrier to entry is still pretty strong.
Absolutely.
There compared to here.
Indeed. So it's all balance. You know what I'm saying? We are here in the A, and I know there's a lot of conversation and debate about which side, you know, is really leading hip hop, which side, you know, impacts the culture the most. I know Lil Yachty spoke up a little bit on Atlanta's behalf, and you know, kind of took some shots in New York low key, but it was all overall in good fun. But we all know how it is when you really tapped in with the Most High. Everywhere is home, and especially if you don't own the block, if you don't understand the roots of the city, if the city is not named after one of your ancestors, you better really watch how you repping and willing to die for, you know, geographic location on this abundant planet. So, man, shout out to music, man. Shout out to all sides, all coasts. You know what I'm saying? Much love. But just, again, before we just get into some of this other conversation, emphasizing the power that we have with music, why you created Pink, and the vibration there, because it's no doubt this has been a tool to help communication with you and I. When you had the right to treat me how you wanted to treat me, and you know what I'm saying, not talk to me for extended periods of time. Again, it's all good. I have music. I'm with all the smoke. I'm a healer with love every time. Oh, you don't? Here, take these playlists. Take this amazing R&B. I need nothing from you. And I understand, again, your separation was more about you than it was about me. It was more about your pain and what you were going through. And that's where, again, I look in the mirror and saw the same exact thing in myself and what I've been through. So
not just playlists. You created like multiple.
Oh yeah, multiple songs.
EPs.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. So again, when you have this moment again and you create Pink, and just to be very honest and transparent with people, there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes with family, with resources, and creating these moments, and even just fighting for the right, and even just saying, Michaela, wake up. Music is what God has given us the opportunity to do right now, so create.
Yes,
so I'm going to take my credit, and I'm grateful that I got to give the space to Michaela and Rasta Taj to create that song so she could take full credit, because that has always been my goal, to share this endeavor with you, to start an enterprise with you so you can own your own stuff forever. I know, even again, finances and infidelity contribute to a lot of divorces. So I got no business, again, trust and believe, you know what I'm saying? Again, no disrespect, but I love beautiful women. And the kind of things that you're told as a young boy, whether it's the Playboy narrative, so on and so forth, it can, again, be very tempting to get addicted to it. And I'm not here to judge anybody for their lifestyle, so on and so forth, but for me, to be in a space where I understand, like, there's a different peace of mind when you're able to lock in and dedicate yourself to one person.
Yeah, definitely.
And just being honest and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, put it all on the line. And not only do I want to be in a relationship with you, but I want to build an enterprise. Let's tour the world. Let's create incredible films. And not just talk about it, but really do it.
Yeah.
Really be about it.
Yeah.
So here we are right now. I just got to give myself a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do sometimes, even when nobody else will. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason we're here right now. Just be straight, it got dark, it got wicked, man. I'm having to sit on the sideline seeing her have fun with whoever, like, you know what I'm saying, do her thing. I'm like, you know what? I see a mirror parallel with my life. Can't be mad. Again, she's obviously different as a divine feminine and me as a divine masculine. And we all have all of that within us, the yin and the yang. But I identify as a man. And just having to humble myself at different points. Just like, man, yo, the possibilities are amazing. Like, you know, the first song I ever dropped, I put her vocals on it, Valentine's Days, and then she goes, as soon as I dropped my first project, she goes ghost on me for a whole 6 months. So I'm starting my career, and I got to take that leap of faith by myself. So it's always important to understand that in any relationship, you're still an individual. So I'm so grateful for you having this moment with Pink, whether I'm a part of your journey and everybody loves, you know what I'm saying, Mickey LaDawn, and again, the Mirror Days is just something of the past. I'm cool with that. Cause you know what I'm saying? Music, because music is, it got to start. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Start what? I've been doing this music thing for over 10 years. I got what, like 5 monthly listeners on Spotify. It's all good. It's all love. And again, it can get to me sometimes. But I know what my goal has been when I want to pop in again. Like, it's no excuses. We are in a position where we understand what it takes. So whether you perform on the numbers in this capacity or not, it is what it is. Again, beyond those monthly listeners, I've definitely, had, tens of thousands of streams and support just over these 10 years. So much support, so many positive things to speak to. But just understand some of the metrics that sometimes artists, they don't want to drop. Oh, nobody liked my picture. Again, it's a vortex with the internet. So I just want to emphasize again.
It can be very discouraging.
It can be very discouraging, and that's why that mentality is important. Are you ready when you got 3 million, 4 million, 5 million listeners? How are you catering to them? Are you staying prepared for that moment, posture for that moment? And respectfully, being around celebrities since I was 10 years old by virtue of my father, I always knew that they were regular people, and I knew that I was not chasing fame. So we've been very intentional with how we've been building this movement, looking forward to how God continues to orchestrate it as well. Because, even though my listenership might be something, again, there's a long list of legends that we've opened up for, including, Raheem Devon, who's, again, family. He's been talking about it for years. Again, I'm trying my pops and him accountable. Oh, you need to get your son in the studio. He's been hearing about me doing, music for the past 5-10 years. But it's all good. We're going to get right there.
All under my time.
You know what I'm saying? One love. So, again, enough about that for right now. But I just wanted to really emphasize to everybody listening, and also for our archives, when people got to go back, the one-on-one TKO radio archives, when we're here, again, impacting millions and billions with our music, we understand the journey. We were very intentional. We weren't chasing it. We understood that it would come to us. Because trust and believe, you can buy streams. You know what I'm saying? You could use certain, poor, immoral tactics to get a lot of attention and overdo things. So,
people do it.
Yeah, man, it's an honor, man. Before we just close this thing out, I would love for you to, again, just share what your intention is. Cause I know you've been telling me again, am I pushing Pop Princess enough? Oh, it's a special song. When do we drop it? Da, da, da. So we've been trusting the spiritual line. We dropped it last week large in part because of the date.
Yep, 8/8.
8/8. But we made it back on, you know what I'm saying, May 30th.
May 30th.
And that almost did not happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to push for it. I'm like, Michaela, we need to have the studio sessions. Ross is in town. We need to find a way to get these resources. Do not let anybody, again, especially in family, you know what I'm saying, dynamics. You got to speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
If you've earned something, speak up for yourself. And if it's not working for you, it's all good. Pivot your energy in another direction.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk your talk real quick as we close this out.
Shout out to Daze. I love his passion. That was what ultimately made me come back to him. At first, the passion turned me away because it was a little scary, but now I can embrace it fully and understand him. So I love him for being exactly who he is.
No simping.
And for being my champion. He's definitely my champion. He's my knight of shining armor and all those things. Very grateful for him. Thank you, Tamika. We're going to keep pushing the movement, girl. We're going to keep pushing this music. We're going to keep pushing all these beautiful things we're doing. And push for everybody else. Everybody that, you know, is doing something amazing, hit us up. We want you to be a part of this too. If you are tuned in right now, you're part of the NASA family, whether you like it or not.
Get your music played on 101 TKO radio. It's a big deal.
Yes, yes.
It's a big deal.
And we can connect you all.
We can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You could get your first radio play, y'all. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? 2024, the opportunities are limitless.
That's right. That's right. In that same regarding energy, let's transition into our Stargazer zone before we officially close out today. So, if you don't know, the Stargazer zone is when we talk a little bit about what's going on in the stars and how it affects us here on this astrological physical plane, right? And when I say the stars, I don't just mean the stars, I also mean the planets, the dust, everything in the cosmos that ties back to the stardust and the energies that we all possess here on Earth. All right, let's get into it. So I like to start with looking at the moon. Right now, the moon is in a waxing gibbous phase. We just had our first quarter moon in, what was it? It was in Scorpio on Monday. And then before that, we had our new moon in Leo to start off the month in Leo season. So big shout out to all my Leos out there. Big shout out to Lonzie, Amir's sister. She is a Leo baby and also a 97 baby. So big shout out. And all my other Leos, shout out to London. Shout out to Alejandra. Shout out to Courtney.
Shout out to Nipsey. It's Nipsey Hussle's birthday, y'all. The marathon continues.
Yes.
Today is Nipsey Hussle's heavenly birthday.
I love it.
The marathon continues, man. Powerful. He would be 38 today, man.
38, wow.
Sheesh.
Beautiful. All of our Leos, we love our Leos. So big shout out to y'all. Happy birthday. So today is a waxing gibbous. We are in the sign of Capricorn. Actually, during the show, the moon was moving from Sagittarius, from that fiery, get it done, no holds barred type of energy, into the Capricorn, which is more pragmatic, more grounded, and can be considered a little more stable. So if over the past couple of days you've been feeling a little bit wonky, like there's just a fire up your booty and it is really bothersome, know that it'll be cooling down. I wanted you to say something. Know that it'll be cooling down now. Now we can get a little bit more into our grounded energy and calm our energy, calm our nervous system. But we must stay prepared because the full moon will be in Aquarius on this upcoming Monday. And as you can see, Daze here, he's in Aquarius. So that's all I really need to say. Aquarius can be a sign that is, how do I say this?
Infinite.
No, infinite is a great word. But also Aquarius can bring about chaos. It can bring about confusion if we're not careful and if we're not moving with intention. So use this time from now until Sunday to really Friday to get your energy all the way aligned with this Capricorn spirit. Ground yourself. Ground in things that make you feel calm, that make you feel good about yourself. And then when this full moon comes on Monday, you can be fully prepared because you've been planting seeds. The full moon is a time that reminds us of things coming into fruition, things coming into fullness. So whatever you're working on that's in a creative endeavor or that's tied back to your money, work on it now, plant the seeds now. So when Monday comes, that moon day comes, you feel good. And don't forget all of your full moon rituals. Take a nice bath, go grounding, go for a walk. Get next to nature, get in some water. Those are all great things that can keep you grounded during this full moon. And of course, the full moon is a great time to connect with people that you love, but most importantly, connect with yourself. And the last thing that I want to make sure I mention for all those that are looking at astrological things beyond the moon, the planet, we've got Mercury in retrograde right now, Pluto is in retrograde right now, I believe Saturn's in retrograde. All of these major planets, all of our outer planets are in retrograde, which means things that are challenging how we think about things on a societal, generational level are being put on blast. So embrace the untraditional, embrace the new ways of thinking, because right now we're shaking some things up, because not only is Pluto in retrograde, it'll actually be moving into a new sign at the end of this year. So we're getting a taste of what the next pretty much 20 years is going to feel like right now because of this retrograde energy. So do what you can to ground yourself, love on yourself, and communicate with whoever you believe in, that higher power, so that you're planting and manifesting in the right ways. Thank you.
Stargazer zone. Stay tapped in, ladies and gentlemen. Spiritually, mentally, physically, all across the board. That is the goal. And then you will be equipped to effectively move.
Yes. Another great Thursday, Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. Thank you to everybody that tuned in across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course on 101tkoradio.com. And I really, really hope you better got that app downloaded, 101 TKO Radio. Look it up in the App Store.
Go ahead.
Comment on the fan wall.
You know what I'm saying? Let them know. Let them know who sent you.
Okay, Dawn Daze.
I love it.
Yeah.
We here every Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Be blessed.
Until next time. Peace.